What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Bigboyfactsjonnytv, and tonight I'll go on my AEW Dynamite review and highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the video before I leave a like and a comment. Turn on post notifications when I premiere a brand new video, or go live on YouTube every Sunday and every Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Follow my social media, my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch, and Discord and threads down below in the description. Now let's get started. Now AEW Dynamite, good show. And that's all I gotta say. AEW Dynamite was live from Indianapolis, Indiana. That's all I gotta say. It says Power kicks off another exciting edition of AEW Dynamite before the former AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy makes his way to the ring. Days removed from losing the title to Jon Moxley at AEW All Out. The former champ looks beat up as all gets out, but still calm and collected as he enters the ring with a microphone to the chant of freshly squeezed from the crowd. This turns it says this turns to thank you, Orange Cassidy. I'm sorry. Yeah, this turns to thank you, Orange Cassidy chant as the champ seems to stun to speak before saying hey, Orange. Hey, Orange. Follows by thanks to fans and saying they told him to stay home, but he said, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Championship or no championship, he will be here. He he will be here, every single week, because he is freshly squeezed, Orange Cassidy, and doesn't have, he does not have to, he does not have a catchphrase." Orange Cassidy sets the microphone down before leaving the ring, heading up the ramp when suddenly Wild Thing plays to signal the arrival of the new international champion for our opening contest. We get a split screen of the replay of All Out. Jon Moxley heading to the ring, heading to ringside, and Orange Cassidy still the champ. I'm sorry, Orange Cassidy still on the ramp, staring the new champ down. Okay, Orange Cassidy heads towards the stage as AR Fox makes his way out next, ready to challenge Jon Moxley for the title as this match gets on the way. Okay, cool. Let me take a let me get some of my refrigerator, and then there we go. Then we get an AEW International Championship match. Jon Moxley versus AR Fox. And this match, this was a quick match. Okay. Fox charged at Mox to get an early advantage, but the champ lays into him with some heavy hands before sending him back into the corner. Sending him back to the corner and going going after the face. Jon Moxley sends to the corner. Now as AR Fox hits a forearm, followed by a springboard drop kick that sends Jon Moxley out of the ring. Jon Moxley walks around at ringside and pays for it thanks to a big dive from AR Fox, who brings the champ back to the ring. And Mox fights right back before dropping AR Fox down hard to the canvas. We see Darby Allin and Nick Wayne watching on backstage as Jon Moxley goes after the back of AR Fox, who fights out a suplex on the apron before hitting the champ with a DDT from the second rope for a near fall. Jon Moxley escapes the ring, where AR Fox finds himself in a bit of trouble as Jon Moxley sends him into the barricade and over the barricade, and we go to picture in picture unless you're cursed like I am, because my fed goes to a commercial break. So we go to commercial break. Back from break, Jon Moxley starts losing control of the match thanks to a kick from AR Fox, who starts fighting back with some further kicks and a neck breaker. AR Fox sends the champ to the corner, rolling through a cutter that gets him another near fall before Jon Moxley rolls out of the ring. AR Fox meets him on the apron with a big moonsault off the ring post, catching the champ's shoulder in the process. 450 splash by the challenger, but AR Fox kicks out. Okay, the champ catches AR Fox by surprise as he rolls into the Kimura before laying in some hammer elbows and a King Kong lariat. Death Rider follow up gave AR Fox a pin in the win in his first title defense. The winner and still your AEW International Champion John Moxley. This was a quick match. John Moxley and Claudio leave through the crowd as Darrell checks on AR Fox, raising his arm as as a show of appreciation. Before we see Nick Wayne still backstage confronted by Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. Christian Cage went down Nick's father before offering to be a true mentor. Nick Wayne before he and the TNT champion walks off. Backstage, back at ringside, Quick Statlander heads to the ring as she is set to defend the TBS champion in an opening challenge up next. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Quick Statlander challenger arrives as Emi Sakura heads to the ring, making a beeline for it as this match gets underway. So we get the TBS Championship Open Challenge. Chris Statlander versus Emi Sakura. And this match, this was a this was a solid match. Emi catches the champion by surprise early on with some roll ups attempts that garner near fall for before Chris Statlander heads to the apron before Sakura knocks her off with a crossbody on the outside. Emi catches the attack by diving Chris Statlander into the steel steps before bringing the champ back into the ring, but only gets a near fall. Chris Statlander tries to fight back with some chops, but Emi has some of her own as they trade strikes, and Emi hits an elbow strike and a lariat. Chris Statlander backs up as they run into each other with lariats, and they both end up dropping to the canvas for the impact. From the impact, Chris Statlander heads to the apron as Sakura gets to her feet, only for the champ to knock her down before hitting a springboard elbow drop. Sakura dodges a discussed lariat and ends up hitting a reverse DDT. Sakura has the champ up and hits a backbreaker, but Chris Statlander kicks out. Sakura climbs the turnbuckle, but is interrupted by a facebuster by the champ, who follows with a discussed lariat and in the Wednesday night forever for the pin and the win to retain. The winner of the match is still your TBS champion, Chris Statlander. This was a solid match. Excuse me. Video package. Roger Strong alongside the Kingdom talks about the business and how much he wants to win the world title eliminator tournament. Back at ringside, Don Callis heads to the commentary to watch our next match before Laseska heads to the ring, eager to prove themselves as a tag team against the former Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Speaking of Aussie Open, make their way to the ring next, and soon this match gets underway. So we get Lisette's guys, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Aussie Open and Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. Excuse me. And this tag team match, this was a good. This match was good. Good tag team match. That's all I gotta say. Good tag team match. Anyway, good tag team match. We start off with Chris Jericho and Davis circling the mat before they lock up, with Davis taking Jericho to the corner before taking a thumb to the eye and a couple of chops by the Jericho. That doesn't phase Davis for long as he sends Jericho back to the corner, but Jericho catches him with a forearm and a right hand before tagging in Sammy Guevara. Lisette's guys take Davis down with a double shoulder tag before posing for the crowd. Davis doesn't take well to this, however, diving Sammy Guevara's face into the top rope before tagging in Kyle Fletcher, who drops Sammy Guevara with a scoop slam. Sammy Guevara back to his feet as they trade strikes, with Sammy Guevara ending things with a drop kick down low on Kyle Fletcher. The crowd chanting for Sammy Guevara as the tag is made to Chris Jericho before they take Kyle Fletcher down with a delayed vertical suplex double team. The crowd popped big time for this as we go to picture in picture. We're back from picture in picture. Chris Jericho finds himself in control of the match as he mounts up with Kyle Fletcher with some punches before finally taking him down to the canvas. Tag made to Sammy Guevara as that keep Kyle Fletcher from making a tag. And Sammy Guevara puts his boot on Kyle Fletcher's chest for a cocky cover and a near fall. Excuse me, and a near fall. Sammy Guevara ends up leaving in the ring and gets taken down by Davis as Mark Davis as a result as Kyle Fletcher gets back to his feet while Mark Davis sends Sammy Guevara back into the ring. Kyle Fletcher goes after Sammy Guevara here and sending him to the corner before tagging in Mark Davis as they were down on Sammy Guevara. Mark Davis diving his knee into Sammy Guevara for the cover and they didn't fall. But Sammy Guevara walks Mark Davis to fight back before Kyle Fletcher intervenes as we come back from break. Excuse me. As we come back from break. Sammy Guevara avoids the attack of Aussie Open to get a tag to Jericho, who sends Kyle Fletcher out but is sent to the apron by Mark Davis. Chris Jericho looking for an accidental off the turnbuckle, but is stopped by Aussie Open. But Mark Davis gets taken out with a cutter by Sammy Guevara as Kyle Fletcher hits a forearm on Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho catches Fletcher by surprise with a code breaker in the cover, but Kyle Fletcher kicks out. Chris Jericho with a chop to Kyle Fletcher, but sending him to the ropes and to the outside, where Davis tries to help, only for both men to fall victim to a big dive by Sammy Guevara. Chris Jericho looks for a dive of his own, but Aussie Open sends Sammy Guevara in his path instead. Excuse me. Aussie Open picks up Lisa Scott, diving their backs together on the outside before sending Jericho back in. Aussie Open arrows gets Mark Davis a chance to cover, but Chris Jericho kicks out. Davis and Kyle Fletcher look to go on the attack once more, but Davis runs into a Spanish fly by Sammy Guevara, and Kyle Fletcher gets caught in a waltz of Jericho before finding out and hitting the Jericho with a thirst kick. Kyle Fletcher with a brainbuster and a cover, but Chris Jericho kicks out again. Excuse me. Kyle Fletcher is frustrated as he lays in some punches on Jericho. Jericho starts to fight back, but accidentally knocks Sammy Guevara off the apron. Kyle Fletcher rolls him up, but is sent off before Jericho hits the juice effect for the pin and the win. The winner of the match, Sex God, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. This was a good tag team match. The arms of Sex God are rise and victory, but Sammy Guevara throws his arm down after a couple of mishaps during the match. This leads to a shoving contest between Sammy Guevara and Jericho before Sal rushes to the ring to break things up. Sammy Guevara ends up rushing out of the ring, leaving through the crowd as Jericho repeatedly continues to take the victory. Video package: Ricky Starks may have lost to Bryan Danielson at AEW All Out, but he did not give up, and he never will. We also look back at AEW All Out and what happened between Samoa Joe and MJF, who looks to speak his mind up next. Commercial break. Okay. Backstage, Don Callis and Kunusuke Takeshita with Renee Paquette alongside a hidden as Don Callis hypes Takeshita as the new big dog before promising to unveil the next target before Takeshita next week on Dynamite. Okay, this was a good segment. I love this segment right here. Back at ringside, the new world champion MJF heads to the ring to speak his mind. MJF gets to the ring with a mic in hand, calling out his calling for his music to be cut as the crowd chants his name. Indianapolis, the devil has arrived. Who the Hoosier country, where MJF was trying to make a name for himself on the independent circuit. He lived right in Indiana, so Hoosier Daddy. The crowd lets the champ know how to. The champ let the crowd lets the champ know, much to his delight, as he addressed All Out, where he and his bro Rancho Adam Cole defending the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. He found out in the back from that Mark Tony Khan that he has to compete again on September 20th. But at least it is Grand Slam from New York. So gear up because nobody is on the level of the devil. There's one person in particular who needs to be taught a lesson to chant of Samoa Joe from the crowd before the champ can continue. Samoa Joe makes his way out to the ring. Samoa Joe heads right down the ramp, getting a mic of his own before speaking up. Pardon the interruption. The champ, but Samoa Joe heard some heard some piss and vinegar just now. Now, Joe out here, MJF is out here. So what seems to be the problem, kid? MJF doesn't take well to this, but is interrupted with a chant of Samoa Joe, gonna kill you. Before continuing, he says he can't understand Samoa Joe being confused, perhaps mixing up MJF's music with the ice cream truck. Excuse me. Samoa Joe says that's good. Samoa Joe says that's good. But the last time he had anything to do with ice cream, it was a star on another company's network. So again, what's the problem, kid? MJF doesn't take well to this, but he can be creative too. He can be creative too. Who wants excuse me? Who wants to hear MJF gets created up in here? Hey everybody, it's Pillsbury, some Joe Boy, and no way that Samoa Joe. Though MJF follows up with something a little harder to repeat on this recap. Something Samoa Joe resorts to before saying MJF's time with all these mouth breathers made made him stupid. So one more time, what's the problem, kid? MJF yells that if Samoa Joe calls him kid one more time, he'll knock his teeth down his throat. Knocks his teeth down his throat. MJF quickly stops himself, realizing that's the reaction Samoa Joe wants, so he can cut the line before there is a whole tournament he can wrestle in. The crowd chants an F bomb at Samoa Joe, who tells them they starting to sound like their mothers, so calm down. MJF offers up a story time for the crowd to get things back on track, bringing up a tryout he had with WWE that he knocked out of the park. He then gets pulled aside by a certain individual named William Regal, who said MJF was too young before ultimately blowing MJF off. And we all know how that story ended, with MJF knocking William Regal out and sending him packing to NXT, where he belongs. If Samoa Joe plays his cards right, he's next. MJF then talks about the time he was set as a security guard, where he met the great Samoa Joe. But Samoa Joe decided to take a 19-year-old kid and shove him into a brick wall and laugh. Let's be honest, Samoa Joe, we know why you did that because we know how scumbag think and MJF knows because the fans scumbags. Samoa Joe did it because MJF was a kid and because he could get away with it. But MJF is not a kid anymore. He is a full grown and the gentleman talent and the AEW World Champion. He is MJF, and he is better than you, and you know it. Samoa Joe says that's the point well made before running the champ down, and MJF responds with a slap to the face of the Ring of Honor Television Champion. Excuse me. Samoa Joe sees that for what it is, however, promising to run through that tournament, like taking that title from MJF. And so then, having a nice day, MJF starts to leave through the ropes, but is blocked by Samoa Joe, who lays into him with kicks before setting up with the AEW World Championship. Only for MJF to hit a low blow. MJF sends Samoa Joe to the corner. Some stops pulling his shirt off to go after him some more, but Samoa Joe catches him by surprise, doing more damage before Adam Cole runs down to make the save. Medical personnel run down to check on the champ as we heard Samoa Joe yelling, "What's wrong, kid? You don't look so good," from the stage. Staff checks on MJF, who asks if it's worse than Sunday, saying his left arm numb, and staff help him out of the ring. Samoa Joe grabs a mic and run MJF down some more, saying he can't promise he won't tear through him next time. The champ stands in front of him before finally heading to the back. Staff continue to walk up the ramp with MJF as Adam Cole follows, only for Roger Strong to yell at Adam Cole about carrying about MJF's neck before then his own. Strong and the Kingdom head down the ramp to end to the ring and head down to the ring as he gears up for his world title eliminator tournament qualifying against Trent Barreta, and that is up next. That was a good segment by some MJF and Samoa Joe. Good segment. Commercial break. Back from the break, Trent makes his way to the ring for the first world title eliminator qualifying, and this match gets underway. Excuse me. So we get a Grand Slam world title eliminator, Roderick Strong versus Trent Barreta. And this match right here, this was decent. This was a decent this match was decent. Let me take a sip of my fruit punch. Okay. Roger Strong rushes Barreta into the corner. To the corner, taking him down as he goes for a side headlock, but Trent takes him back down to the canvas. Roger Strong goes on the attack before backing off, telling the ref to tell Trent to lay off his neck. Roger Strong sends Trent back back to the corner now. Before looking for a spring stronghold, but Trent fights out of it, only for Strong to get in from face lock. Trent fights to his feet, but is taken down by a shoulder tackle by Strong, only to hit a standing knee strike on Roderick Strong. Roger Strong is quickly to fight back now, hitting a big backbreaker on Trent Barreta, but the best friends fights back with a back suplex. Trent with an elbow strike and a DDT off the rope, sending Roderick Strong to the outside as the Kingdom checks on him. The referee also checks in as Trent tries to get involved, but is sent back and then into the ring. Post by Roger Strong, who hits a side suplex onto the apron as we go to picture in picture. We're back from picture in picture. Roger Strong is in control of the match now as he hits a half Nelson back for a near fall, followed by a modified armbar as he wears down Trent Barreta. Roger Strong continues the attack as he dives Trent into the ropes before bringing him back to his feet for a chop. Roger Strong with some boots to Barreta before mocking the crowd. Roger Strong goes right back on him for a near fall before locking in a modified chin lock as we come back from break. The fight starts to be in Trent's favor now as he fights out of another backbreaker, looking for a hidden looking for and hitting a German suplex on Roderick Strong, who goes for the ropes to break things up. Roderick Strong gets caught with a twisted Death Valley driver as Trent goes for the cover, but Strong kicks out. Excuse me. Trent looks for a pile driver, but is taken down with the backbreakers in a sick kick by Roger Strong. But Trent kicks out. Excuse me. Roger Strong Roger Strong sets him up on a turnbuckle, now looking for a big superplex with some short, but Trent intercepts only to take a slap on the back before Roger Strong has him on the shoulders. Trent fights out again, hitting a hurricanrana, but Roger Strong rolls through for a strong cold, only for Trent to get him on his shoulders for a near fall to break the hold. Trent draws Roger Strong and hits a pile driver for the cover, but Roger Strong has a boot on the rope. Beretta cheers Strong, cheers Strong on as Beretta goes after him. Excuse me. But Roger Strong fights it off before hitting a jumping knee strike and the end of a heart attack for the pin and the win to advance. The winner the winner by pinfall and advancing in the world title qualifier tournament, Roger Strong. This was a decent match. The Kingdom are quick to help Strong put his neck brace back on as they leave the ring and head up the ramp. After a graphic remind us that he will face the winner of tonight's main event, Darby Allin versus Nick Wayne, this Saturday on Collision. Excuse me. Backstage, Renee Paquette talks to Tony Storm about what happened at AEW All Out, something that Tony Storm can seem to remember happened before addressing the situation, leading to the Women's World Championship being defended at Grand Slam. Tony Storm simply says we might get a sneak peek of what she wants to present next week. But until then, watch watch for the shoe. When they did not watch for the shoe, which gets sent flying her way after Tony Storm walks off. Backstage, Hangman Page is coming to the ring. Speak his mind on that. It's up next. Commercial break. Excuse me. Back from break, Tony Schiavone is in the ring with Page to address the over budget charity battle royal that Hangman Page won. Page talk about getting the call and helping a good cause out with the winnings. Hangman Page starts to address his future when Swerve's music hits, bringing out Prince Nada and excuse me, bringing out Prince Nada, and Swerve Strickland a little over a week what went what went down what went down at AEW All In. Okay, excuse me. Not Prince Nada is dancing like a fool, but Swerve is all business. As the pair head down the ramp, before they enter the ring, Prince Nana takes the mic from Tony Schiavone before hyping up Swerve, who talks about getting clearly after being in a coffin for as long as he was. He got to think the first person he thought of was Page, talking about Page history and AEW, including his run as a world champion. He then talks about All In and the audience record as opposed to being on the pre-show last Sunday, and how he hasn't had a new merch in over a year. And runs down all the things Page has been doing as of late. Excuse me. Before saying Page can ride off in the sunset and let Swerve take that spot he doesn't want. Other other option is Page can do whatever he needs to so he can prove he's still who he once was. We can fight for the spot, but fair warning, Swerve has zero empathy and will walk Paige like a dog. Either way, Swerve is coming for that spot that Paige acts like he doesn't want. Paige tells Swerve if he wants a match, he can go to the back and ask for it. But he is done with this right now. Paige walks up the ramp until Swerve talks about his wife and kids, which riles Paige up only for the Paige to get blindsided by Brian Cage. Brian Cage lays him out before Mogul and Vasily leave the ring, heading up the ramp to see their handiwork. We get a rundown of the week to come, including the World Title Eliminator Tournament matches, a 4-way match to determine the next contender for the Women's World Championship, and much more. Back at ringside, we are gearing up for our main event as Darby Allin comes out to the ring first for this World Title Eliminator qualifier. Out next is Nick Wayne looking to make an impression in one of his biggest matches yet, and AEW before our main event gets underway. So we get the Grand Slam World Title Tournament. Eliminator Tournament. Darby Allin versus Nick Wayne. And this match right here, this was I might as well say I enjoyed this main event match. This was good. So let me take another sip of my fruit punch before I continue. Okay. Show of respect between Darby Allin and Nick Wayne before they lock up, leading to an exchange supposed in their falls to show how quickly paced things can get between them. It all ends up with Nick Wayne getting a race lock before, but sent to the outside, only to invade as Darby Allin dives, sending um Nick Wayne crashing against the Bearcats. We go to picture in picture. Back from picture in picture, the action has very much slowed down here as we get a replay of what happened before medical staff come running down to check on Darby Allin. Darby Allin is finally back on his feet, instructively going to the ring to break a count before rolling back out. But again, Darby Allin ends up back in the ring before Darby Allin ends up back in the ring as Nick Wayne hypes the crowd up. We finally get to another lockup where Darby Allin rolls through a headlock, but Nick Wayne sends him into the corner for more damage. Darby Allin fights him off as he climbs up the turnbuckle, but is intercepted by Nick Wayne as we come back. Okay. Nick Wayne hits a big superplex and followed with a fisherman buster, but Darby Allin kicks out. Darby Allin struggling as Nick Wayne goes for a frog splash off the top, but Darby Allin gets him with the knees up. Darby Allin gets him with the knees up, but Darby Allin crawls to the corner as Nick Wayne stands up, only to be sent flying to the corner with Darby Allin draw a kick for a cover and a near fall. Darby Allin takes him back to the corner for a chop before Nick Wayne walks it off, only for Darby Allin to hit him again. The fight continues until both men are down, but bump Knuckles on the way back to their feet before a trading strikes. Darby Allin tries to rally Nick Wayne up some by calling him out on the microphone, which leads to Nick Wayne hitting even harder until Christian Cage and the Luchasaurus arrives on stage. They walk towards commentary as we go to picture in picture one more. Okay. So it says so where else I was? So it says right here, where was I at? It says one more. Okay. Back from picture in picture. With Christian Cage and Luchasaurus not at ringside, we focus on the continued battle between Darby Allin and Nick Wayne. This leads to Nick Wayne getting a near fall, which gets it reversed, and we're left with both men down. Darby needs to need Darby has to the ropes to help himself up as Nick Wayne checks on him before we come back. It's a battle on the apron now that Nick Wayne wins with a hurricane on Darby Allin, sending him to the floor below. Backstage, we see Roger Strong and the Kingdom before Nick Wayne climb up the top rope for a big fall splash onto Darby Allin on the floor. Nick Wayne sends Darby Allin back into the ring, hitting Nick Wayne's world for the cover, but Darby Allin kicks out. Nick Wayne, yeah, excuse me. Nick Wayne heads back to the cover as Darby Allin gets back up, only to be set up on the turnbuckle by Nick Wayne, only for Darby Allin to send him crashing into the canvas. Darby Allin sets up for a coffin drop, but only not short on it before covering, only for Nick Wayne to kick out. Excuse me. Darby Allin brings Nick Wayne back up on only to be caught in a submission hold, but Nick Wayne only for Darby Allin to escape and block a Wayne's world for a near fall. Another trade off and near falls. Here's into a cold red for one more. And now Darby Allin's got Nick Wayne locked in as he stomps at him. Nick Wayne can't respond as the ref calls for the bell. Alright, the winner by submission advancing in the world title eliminator tournament, Darby Allin. This was a good main event. Good main event match by these two. Christian Cage on commentary, right? Raised the question of what happened if Darby Allin can make it to the next match before before heading to the stage. And Mike Lee applaud Darby Allin, who has no chance to celebrate this win as the show comes to a close. Okay, and AEW Dynamite goes off the air. Okay, like I stated earlier, now AEW Dynamite was a good show, and that's all I got said from here. But anyway, if you guys enjoy my AEW Dynamite review and highlights, make sure you guys please give this video a full thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm. But make sure you guys please will watch the video before you connect with me the right way. Turn on post notifications to get notified when I premiere a brand new video, or go live on YouTube every Sunday and every Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Follow my social media, my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch, and Discord threads down below in the description. And I will see you guys tomorrow when I go live on YouTube at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. So I hope you guys will be there because I'm back streaming live on YouTube. This your boy Bigboyfactsjonnytv. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. KFG crew, KFG Kings, KFG Club, Too Sweet. I'm out of here. Gang.